to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan. Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulation.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Yeah. Welcome, everybody, to the Detroit Cast. Mike and Jay. Shalom, Big E. He is here as well. Jay, how are you?
Quite well, Mike.
Doing all right?
Thank you for having me.
Sure. I'm feeling much better. Thank you for asking.
Oh, good. Rested.
Yeah, much more rested. Dude, I was so out when you guys left. Literally 5 minutes out after you walked out the door. I was just done.
Night-night.
Night-night for me. Yeah, and then I woke up to a bear here I didn't know was coming. And so it's been quite a day already for me. How about you guys?
Quite a day already.
Yeah. I don't like that. Like when you get that interruption in like your sleep pattern.
Oh, no. That's
and dude, as I get older, it can fuck me up for a month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've had a busy day. I thought I had one grievance coming into the day.
Yeah.
I've got a different one now.
Oh, no.
A new grievance found me.
Would you care to air it?
Oh,
right
should
out
we
of the
air them
gate?
right now?
We can. Yeah. I was planning on going with some grievances yesterday because I knew I was going to be out of it. But the best I could come up with were basically either a reiterated grievance.
Oh, you can't do that. You're going to steal. You're going to steal a grievance.
I was going to borrow a grievance. But I needed to reiterate it. Like for people that,
What was it?
in the country that hadn't heard our previous grievances.
Basically, give it to me in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, I was a couple things happened to me over the weekend. Spell check pissed me off on my phone because it won't, like, I write a lot, and I mean a lot of like bad words. I include shit and fuck.
Always goes to shot.
Yes. And the amount of times I've told someone like, called bullshot on something, and it's like, dude, can you not figure out yet that every time you put shot up and I notice it, I have to go in and change it to shit?
If it's some moral bullshit on, I don't know if it's like a
what
moral
else could
thing.
it be?
Like, they will not correct fuck shit. It's like, dude, stop being the moral police Apple phone. Like,
Yeah. Let me write shit. Don't make me double do it to make sure that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Like an accidental shit or something.
Back up. Redo it.
It's
I hate
infuriating.
that. Oh.
There's that one, and then the one I was really going to go with was the people driving in the fast lane, and it really bothered me because a lot of that trip the road I was going up 127. I didn't take 75, but going up 127 to get to
Mount
Pleasant, Central Michigan areas. A lot of that's 2 lanes. And there's just, and granted, now I was doing 90 to 110 the entire trip, like without fail. And if I had to go off on the gravel into the lawn and the center median, I did. But dude, it was like the amount of people that are just like so clueless in the left lane, and they're just doing 75, they're doing 70, and they're going to be the moral police on the road. And I'm just whipping around these people, and they don't notice. It's just drives me nuts.
You're trying to get to that empty restaurant on time.
Exactly. A little early, in fact.
Well, should we remind the listeners of the rules of the grievance?
Sure.
They're very simple.
So that wasn't a grievance.
We will all assert...
No,
that was just
stolen.
a bitch. We will all assert a grievance. We'll air our grievances, so to speak. We'll have 30 seconds to do so. A clock will be put on us. Once we're done airing, the other 2 members of the Detroit Cast will have to vote whether the grievance was bona fide, whether you're being a pussy or you're being an old man. In rare instances, I would hope it would be a rare instance, we could also say it was stolen, in that it's already been grieved or already been bitched about at length, and you basically stole someone else's grievance. I would hope that doesn't happen.
I would hope you would make the a little notation and say that by announcing that mine was more of a reiterated grieve, or and declaring it stolen, I didn't do what E did for us to make the stolen grievance, where he came in fully loaded, barrels loaded to air a grievance, and then it was like, dude, he's bitching about local TV broadcasters. I think, dude, that's like a common bitch on our show. Seriously?
Yeah.
You're going to steal that grievance and air it as if it's yours?
What, are you going to air a grievance on political correctness next?
Yeah.
Come on, E.
I was thinking about my grievance, and I'm really tired of what's going on in these college campuses. What, these kids can't hear an opinion they don't agree with? That's all I have. What is this whole safe space shit?
Stolen grievance, E.
Stolen! Lifted!
Oh, sorry.
Not yours. Taken without permission.
All right, I'll go first.
All right. Show us how it's done.
Spatial cluelessness. Okay, I had 3 things happen to me this morning. I'm in the grocery store. I'm going to the milk thing. Guy grabs a thing of milk, turns around, and like walks into me.
Bonafide.
Could it occur to you, sir, that there could be someone else in the store? Second thing, I'm running on the trail today. 2 people walking toward me, like they refuse to move over just a little bit, so I have to run onto the grass and move around them. Third thing, I'm driving, and it's one of these guys who has to do the wide turn to turn left. He turns right to turn left.
Yeah.
Into another lane, man.
Yeah.
Spatial cluelessness.
No, this is totally a bona fide grievance. I feel like part of you wanted to let people know that you were on the trail this morning. I'm not.
No, I had. Those are 3 things that legit happened to me this morning.
I know, but anyway, I think you could have made your point strictly with the grocery store. I'm not going to say you did it on purpose to let people know you were on the trail today, but
Okay.
whatever. I'll set that aside. I'm going to declare this a bona fide grievance. I noticed this.
Well, the point about the trail, though, is you're on a limited space, right? So 2 people walking toward you, like they realize, this is a limited trail.
So what is the proper move? One goes behind the other?
Yeah, or they hug each other a little tighter so that I can come by and I don't have to run off the trail, so that the 2 of them can remain in their space.
Yeah.
Come on, little courtesy.
I'm not familiar with that one, as you know. I'm not fond of trails.
Are you familiar with the left-hand turn I described, where someone is in a lane and they're going to turn left into like a boulevard area, do a Michigan left, and instead they turn right to turn left?
I don't
like. Let me tell you something, okay?
I don't know what.
You've never seen that?
I guess I'm confused.
They drift right in order to turn.
So are they
it's
moving?
Like
They're not at a stop?
they're totally moving.
Okay.
And they think their wheel, their space isn't going to handle this turn.
Yeah.
Like, I got news for you, man. These roads are built such that any basic American passenger car or whatever truck is going to make that. If you're driving
Yeah.
a semi, that's a different story. Otherwise,
Even a school bus.
you're going to be able to turn there, dude. You don't have to turn
Yeah.
into the lane that I'm trying to fly by you in, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, I would agree that I'm more familiar with the grocery store one. The grocery store one hits a nerve, and I usually see this with children, and you have to give them a pass. Very rarely will I hip check one into a
Grab something and just turn around.
dude. It's amazing to me. You would think with as little as they are, children, that they would just be on this. They would know, like, man, I lose if I go up and just whale some guy. The odds of him going down are very, very small. The odds of me crashing and crying and stuff in the store are huge. But they're not. They're not aware of that. But the adult ones that do that,
The guy ran into me. I'm like, sir.
did you say anything?
No, I just like,
You know what's-
whoa.
Wait, hey.
You know what's the
Yeah.
most annoying about that? I will say is that I'm so passive aggressive, or not passive aggressive. I'm so anti-confrontational that I will find myself
You would
like
apologize?
apologizing.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
And then like a second later, I'm like, what am I apologizing for? They ran into me.
Yeah, the ones that get me are in crowded spaces. Like if you're going into a concert, say, and it's just that cattle call where everyone's trying to get into their seats after getting their beer, and you're just kind of walking, shuffling along, and some guy will fucking slam into your back with his beer and
Yeah,
spill
like,
it.
where are
You're
you
like,
going,
dude,
man?
do you, like, seriously, what are you doing, dude? We all need to be paying attention right now. We all are in this position. We're all within a dick hair of each other. There's no excuse to slam into anyone.
There was a lady at the firm I used to work at, an assistant. You'd be walking down a hallway, just a typical office hallway. Definitely room for 3 people abreast if you want to do it.
Sure.
I'm walking along the right side. She's walking toward me on her right side, right? And she would start to come toward you. It was like this weird...
Yeah, power play.
Yeah, it was a
Power
weird
play.
power play by this chick.
Does she have any authority, or is she
No.
like lower rung?
She was the highest ranking assistant. She'd been there forever, so I think she did think of herself as better than some of the lawyers. But she'd just start coming towards you, and you'd end up like backed up against the wall.
Yeah.
Come on, Raylene.
That's a dick move. Power. She's trying to like show that she's powerful, or she's not intimidated by you
Weird.
lawyers.
It's weird. It was like I was a magnet. And she's like,
Yeah. You know
honing in on me.
who else I hate is tough guy on a sidewalk. You know, tough guy on a
oh,
sidewalk.
I know tough guy in a
Who's almost got his arms like
Yeah.
hands on hips, and he is not gonna fucking turn an inch to let someone squeeze by. No, and he will play chicken with you on the sidewalk to the point of blasting you in the shoulder.
And if you get blasted, then he'll look at you like,
Like,
what the fuck, man?
You want to go? What, you want to go? You want to bare knuckle right here in the middle of Main Street?
Like,
fuckface?
no, I just want to walk by you, man.
Just wanted to walk by, and even though I got as sideways as I could, I still took a tough guy's shoulder in my shoulder as I went by. Dick face.
I have another objection I just thought of. Again, it goes to the spatial cluelessness.
I like the idea of spatial cluelessness. Go
Dude,
ahead.
this
Continue.
fucking mama duck, man. I'm at Telegraph and Lone Pine area. And can you picture that? It's like where the cop station is and the court. And it's kind of
Where were you? And I'm sorry,
Telegraph north of Long Pine. I'm coming over to your Lone Pine.
Lone Pine. Yep.
Coming to your house, and it's where it sort of starts to look like a freeway, and people jam it up and end up going 75 and get pulled over right there because
Sure.
there's a cop store right there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going down that
Cop store.
and dude, there's a mama duck coming from the center lane. Like, what was she thinking with 8 ducklings or something behind? And there's like 3 lanes just ready to rev it up to 75 right
Yeah.
there. And here she comes, like spatial cluelessness,
Fucking
mama duck.
totally. Dude, they're almost retarded by nature, though. I was watching a video earlier. One of those people love posting these like, oh yeah, look at human, pulls a giant hook out of a duck's mouth and saves its life, and everyone's like, oh my god, you're amazing.
Like, hey duck, what are you doing with a hook in your mouth?
Well, that one I didn't blame him. It's like he's trying to eat and stuff. But there was one I was watching, and it was, those what are those orange-billed white swan thingies
Yes.
that are kind of dick faces?
Oh, they're dicks, all right.
Yeah, and so
I heard you could oil their eggs and they won't hatch.
yeah, I've heard that as well. But there was a video posted, and some of you may have seen this on social media, but this guy, and it's in another land, New Zealand or something, and she's obviously teaching these ducklings or whatever these things are to swim and like how to walk off a bridge and into the water. The basic things, tutorial that a mom would do. Well, she's walking these things across a lawn or something, and they're like going under a fence or breaking a fence, and one of the ducks just like, has no clue as to where he is spatially, and just like puts his head through a chain link fence and is now stuck. He's a stuck duck in this fence.
So the mom waits 5 minutes and then walks off?
No, the mom is there, and in this, it was like fence, 2 feet of deck, wood deck, and then off a little drop into water. And so all of them are now in the water.
He's
There's like,
oh, I
and this
can't
little
get
guy's
out. Like, oh man, this stinks. I'm stuck as shit right now.
and so this guy's like, oh, crikey, look at this little feller. And so he goes over there, and he's trying to get this duck free. He's trying to like pull it through.
Swan, as it were.
Yeah, Swan. He's trying to get this little guy through the fence and like fix it. And the whole time, the mom is like hopping up on the deck and like
Trying to
poke,
kick
poke,
his
poke,
ass.
poke, 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 and beating his ass.
It's as if she doesn't know he's trying to help.
I'm like, dude, how could you be so fucking dumb as to not see that this guy's not trying to murder
It's
your
a failure to
dumb
communicate.
duck.
Yeah,
Stupid.
that's a language barrier.
Stupid. And when I see him like no thought to look both ways, and it's just like, well, I guess we're just going trotting across the street now.
I couldn't believe the balls of these guys today.
Well, they're just assuming that you're
Yeah.
going to be perfect and lock them up. Lock them
And
up.
I'm looking at the guy behind me like, oh, dude, please tell me you see this thing because I really don't want to barrel over 8 ducks right now. And
Yeah.
So I'm like slowing, and he saw him too. So.
No, I understand. I understand. Like, you're not going to write them a ticket for jaywalking or something like that's. They're never going to show up in court. You're not going to hold them to account for something like that. But is it too much to ask
No.
that they fucking look and see?
No.
Oh, there's a light a quarter mile down the road. Let's go down there and wait for it to turn red. Because if you get the red, take your time. If we're stopped, and then we have to sit there for 2 green lights while you meander across the road, we will do that.
It's very cocky of them.
Asking a lot. All right, my grievance is not going to be as cool as yours.
Ready?
To be honest with you.
Here we go.
All right. People, this happened to me over the weekend. People who are in charge of putting sticker wristbands on you have to fucking line this shit up. You cannot miss with the sticker side because it just rips fucking hair out of my arm all night long. That's your one job, is to make sure you line the sticker up properly so that it's even and I don't get my hair ripped out. I'm done.
I've definitely been there. I get what you're saying. Totally identify with it. I think they're trying to move people in pretty quick
Right.
though. And is it really that big a deal if you get a few hairs? Is this a total pussy grievance-y?
That's the thing on this. Like, dude, like anybody that's been to a bar or a show has dealt with these at one point, and of course you're right.
Would you
suck.
prefer it not to be misaligned? Of course.
But I think you would be way more pissed in reality if you were sitting there and now for 5,000 people walking in, if they're doing 21 and up or something, you're like,
hey, hurry it up, assholes!
just trying to get it just right.
I'm just saying, like, it doesn't take that
And you
much
really
because there
just
are
do this,
guys.
pull
It
over.
kind
You
of does,
just-
dude. If you
It
tried
does,
to
dude.
I put my kids on all the time, and it's sort of like,
when I was doing them for
hold
Massey,
still.
dude, when I did them for Massey, and that wasn't,
It's not the easiest thing to get them lined up.
When I see some woman who clearly doesn't know or guy that clearly doesn't know what they're doing, I'll ask them, can I just put it on? Can I step aside and put it on? And sometimes I'll let you because the ones that choke your wrist out, those
the
ones
worst.
where it's like,
Yes.
oh, my hand's just going to turn blue, my veins are popping now because you had to make sure there's no chance on earth I can give this to someone.
You got a big cartoon hand. 2 hours later, she's standing there at the bar.
Yeah, you're feeling faint because it's like, really, did we need to make this so goddamn tight?
Yeah, I've had
What did
that
you think I was
before.
going to find an 8-year-old and give it to him so he could buy beers? What is the concern here?
I think your grievance, while understandable, I get it. I think it's an absolute pussy grievance. I think it is. I think it is
It's
quintessential
infuriating to me.
pussy grievance.
And I don't have that much hair on my arms. Like, I can only imagine what some of you gorilla motherfuckers are going
Right.
through. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, to me, it seems like every time I turn or move my wrist or fucking rock out a little bit.
Eases, render your verdict.
I gotta go pussy.
Yeah. All right. Ready,
Sorry.
E? Here's
I don't even have
What?
one. Shit.
Oh,
I
jeez.
don't have one.
Fine. E doesn't have one.
He doesn't have a grievance. Fine.
I thought.
No, life is perfect.
I'm getting punished for not making mild complaints.
Hey, everybody. Hamlin Pub supports the Detroit Cast, so let's make it a point to support them. With locations in Rochester Hills, Clarkston, Chesterfield, and 2 in Shelby Township, you know there's one near you. The Hamlin Pubs have great food, ice-cold drinks, tons of craft beers, TVs, games, and great entertainment. Come on by or book your reservation today at hamlinpubs.com.
I should have. This is my fault on this grievance. I should have done something in line with people that either take their jobs too seriously or not seriously enough. Because I ran into both of those this weekend. I ran into security wand guy who thought, that there was an imminent threat of a bomb going off, and he was personally going to make sure that it didn't happen on his watch.
Yeah. Remember Manchester.
One of those, you get the one guy that the fucking whoop 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 wands you really quick, and no, this
Grabs your
guy
nutsack, send on your way.
Yeah. Unzip really quick, make sure everything's all right. No, this guy was going to wand everything, and he would do that. He would, like, wand you, and you're like, I got my keys. I got my, my phone out. I got my ticket out, so I'm not a pain in the ass. But, a lot of people tend to leave stuff in there. There's cigarettes or things that aren't going to make the thing go off. But he was doing this where you're standing there, and he's wanding you, and then he's like, he would, like, tap your pocket with the wand. What's that? Yeah, that's my wallet. He's like, pull it out. I'm like, all right. You pull it out, open it. Okay. Good. What's in here? He's tapping your butt. I'm like, it's an old receipt, dude. Like, seriously?
Are you really complaining about higher security at concerts, Mike?
Well, it was
After
like
what just happened?
I'm watching everybody else, and they're just getting the fucking whoop, 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 whoop. And you happen to get in the line where you got super Rent-A-Cop. And it's like, dude, come on, man. We're at a Journey concert at Soaring Eagle. I don't think the place is going to go up.
Perfect place to strike because no one would suspect it.
Yeah.
That's true.
No, you're right. I wish they should all just be the same. It should be uniform on what the policy is going in. You're right. The idea of having one dude who's like gonna freaking cavity search you, and then one guy's just like, whatever.
I mean, he was going through Beth's bag. It took Beth 8 minutes to get through there. We're all standing there like, is this dude for real? Right now he's going through bags. He's making her turn around again and this. And he did the
was there
same
a
thing to
bomb?
me. No, there was no bomb.
Perfect.
At
He
all.
did
It was
his
like,
job.
is he just trying to like grope? Are we groping now?
Yeah.
Is that what we're doing? I don't know what the game plan is.
Gab used to take a portable breast pump to places like that, and
Excellent.
they'd wave you through like immediately. Oh my god, ugh, gross. Go,
Yeah,
go.
whatever.
Yeah.
That's like someone opens their bag and they've got a box of tampons in
Yeah.
there. You're like, oh, whoa, yeah,
You're
Oh,
fine.
yeah. Feminine products.
Woo, you're having a rough day already. Clearly, go,
Dude, that's what you need to do. You need to put bombs in like tampons and stuff. Because you're right. Every guy's just like, yeah, whatever.
Ooh, shit. Yep. Didn't need to see that, ladies.
A breast pump, a bomb and a breast pump.
How big is a breast pump?
The portable one is just like it's like a water bottle with like the little
suction titty nipple
suction
thing?
on the end, and you just
And so you could do that at like a concert or something?
yeah.
Really?
Just expressing breast milk, Mike. It's no big deal. It's all natural.
Why do you need to do that?
Because you're gonna fucking explode.
Really?
If you don't.
Can't you just go in and squeeze it?
Can I just go?
I'm just helping her release breast milk, gentlemen. This is totally natural.
Yeah.
Bad. Anyway, see, our boy Donald Trump is claiming victory today.
Yeah. Travel ban victory.
Travel ban victory. Does it seem like a victory to you?
Somewhat. Yeah. I mean, they could have just
the Supreme Court,
upheld the Sixth Circuit or Ninth Circuit.
We're talking about the Supreme Court made a ruling today, and they restored most of his executive order banning incoming travel from the 6 terror-prone countries. Not a huge shock, I guess. A lot of people thought that, if the Supreme Court decided to look at this, that they were not going to hold.
They were not going to take it. You
They
said?
were,
They are taking it.
No,
in the
I know,
fall.
but but there was thought that if they did take it, that they would not. I don't know what the word is. Reverse the ninth, or they would reverse the Ninth Circuit's call.
Yeah, most people look at the plain language of Section 212F of the Immigration Nationality Act and say he's got discretion to do this.
Yeah, so get out of the way. They said it will decide in the fall whether or not the travel ban is constitutional, and so I guess a lot of these Ninth Circuit judges and liberal state attorneys general have argued that it amounts to a religious test for entering into the U.S. since the affected countries are all Muslim majorities.
Yeah, and the White House, of course, is saying it's a national security issue, not a religious issue.
Right. The court said while the wheels of justice turn, though, the Trump administration can enforce the executive order against anyone from those nations who doesn't already have a bona fide relationship with a U.S. citizen or legal resident.
So there's going to be a bunch of cases now as to who has a bona fide relationship, right?
Yeah. So basically, if you've got I don't know if that means obviously a family member, but if you've got someone that like I'm going to see Pete. Pete is my boy. We've been planning this trip for a year.
Or you've got a visa via some employment relationship in the States.
Yep. Here's my papers. I've been hired at X company. This is why I'm coming to the United States.
They upheld the injunction in that respect.
Right. But if you're just like a refugee, that it's like, we're accepting, 20,000 refugees into the United States. Sorry, sir. You will not be coming in right now. Basically, that's what it says. So,
but stay tuned because they will be hearing oral arguments in the fall and then rendering a holding.
Yeah. And that'll be in October, I believe is when they do that. It should be complete by October 2nd, which is the first day the justices could hear arguments in their new term. So Trump said, today's unanimous Supreme Court decision is a clear victory for our national security. As president, I cannot allow people into our country who want to do us harm. I want people who can love the United States and all of its citizens and who will be hardworking and productive. So he's really happy, too, that it was a 9-0 decision by the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Which says a lot. Like, all of them agreed that I had the right to do this, as we said. And so he's really happy about that.
Well, they haven't said that yet. It's going to that final decision, but because it was postured as an injunction right now, he issued a thing, the court enjoined it, and then the appellate court enjoined it. Said, halt, stop, this isn't going forward. The Supreme Court, as we just said, took a piece of that and said, yeah, it can go forward with this piece. With this piece, it can't. We'll hear the whole thing later.
Okay.
So he will declare victory. Trump will and has.
Yeah.
The other side will say, hold your horses.
Mm-hmm.
Wait till the fall. We know that Thomas Alito and another conservative, I forget who, maybe Gorsuch, dissented from this and said, hey, I would have upheld the whole thing right now.
Like, let it all through.
Yeah, I would have said injunction done. Whole thing is good to go.
Yeah. That's interesting. The other interesting news coming out of the Supreme Court world is the possible retirement. I guess there's been rumblings for a while about one of the justices retiring.
Right.
Justice Anthony, is it?
Anthony Kennedy.
Justice Kennedy, yeah. He's 80 years old.
Go sit on a beach, dude.
Yeah. I guess it comes down to his grandkids.
Hang with your grandkids.
Yeah.
Well, that's a big one because he's a swing vote in the current court.
Yeah.
A lot of 5-4 decisions. And
Since Sandra Day O'Connor left, Jay. He's the only one.
He's the guy. He's the guy who decides a lot of these. And he was brought in as a conservative and has since sort of waffled to the middle a little bit. Mm-hmm. And so he's a very important one. If you can replace him with a very conservative one, as Trump has signaled he will,
Yeah.
He did so with Gorsuch in the mold of a Scalia. If he gets another Gorsuch-type judge on there,
Huge.
then you're talking about a pretty firm 5-4 majority for conservatives.
6-3.
No, 5-4.
Really?
You got
you-
Sotomayor, Kagan, Ginsburg, and Breyer as the liberals.
But don't you have 5-4 right now with Gorsuch
You
there?
have 5-4 with
Oh,
Kennedy.
but he's not He's not. Yeah. Okay. Kennedy's
He
not
floats.
a fit. Yeah, I get you. So he's not technically considered. He's more right leaning, actually.
He is more right-leaning, but he will float to the middle.
Now I got you.
Rumors have swirled. Have you heard these rumors for a while? By the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
For a year at least.
Yeah. But he hasn't done anything to squash those rumors, either personally or through intermediaries. He hasn't said anything about it. And so I guess, there's just been so many rumors. And then he does this party where he gets all his law clerks together once every few years, that kind of a reunion thing in D.C. And so they all they moved that up. He moved that party up a year to this weekend. So a lot of people were like, okay, he obviously has an announcement to make, or he wants to, get these guys together early because he's not going to be here next year, is
Right.
the thought, and blah blah blah. And so a lot of people this weekend were holding their breath, like, is this going to be the weekend he announces I'm out? Which would make sense before they go on their break. A lot of big announcements are made, what cases they'll see, if there's any news. He did not announce that he's retiring, but he was aware of it. I mean, at his party, I guess he was like, yeah, there's been a lot of rumors lately, and I just want to clear those up tonight. There will be an open bar at the end of dinner.
It's my big announcement.
Oh.
It's clever.
Zero.
Kennedy.
The end of dinner. So we're paying for drinks until the end of
What are
dinner.
you supposed to do now, Justice?
Yeah, just sit with-
So anyway, they do say that this would cause a seismic shift in the Supreme Court if Trump gets a chance to continue reshaping the court. And the article I was reading, because I don't know enough about this, dude. I know you know way more about this than me, but they're talking about why Kennedy is so important in this article. Like no other justice in history, he's cast a vital swing vote in cases that grab a lot of the country's attention. To liberals, he is a hero for the Obergefell versus Hodges case, which is a landmark opinion that cleared the way for same-sex marriage in 2015. And I think, aren't they looking at the homo cake story too?
Yeah, homo cake is coming up.
I don't know if it's homo cake versus someone, but I think
Homo cake versus homo. Yeah, that is. They took that case.
yeah, no surprise there that they're going to take a look at homo cake. And,
Of course, this is the cake store that didn't want to make the cake for homos, the wedding cake.
we all are familiar with homo cake v. Catholicism. 2017 landmark decision coming up. And so anyway, what is the basic argument here? And a lot of people think he wants to be a part of that opinion.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so people are like, okay, he could announce
He'll stick around.
He'll stick around to be able to make an opinion, make a ruling, guilty
Yeah.
or innocent, Jay.
Yeah.
He wants to be a part of that. So, there's a lot of people, they don't know shit. Everyone's just got an opinion about what he's going to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, homo v. Catholicism is coming up. And I guess it's basically the argument of, can you force someone to make a cake for your ceremony? That's it in a nutshell, right?
Well, can you force a business owner to have to do business in a way that is directly against their personal religious beliefs?
Yeah.
So you have these cake owners who are like, look, I don't believe in that. I think it's wrong morally. And I, as my own little business here, am deciding not to take that cake on.
Yeah. And a lot of these came down to, like, look, I would have gladly made a homo cake for a guy, whatever. I'd have no problem with that. It's just that when you're talking about a wedding, I don't want to go cater this event. I don't want to go and be a part of the ceremony
Yeah,
that
I
is.
just don't believe.
I don't
morally
believe
is
in it.
right.
And it gets very, very troubling, and there's a lot. It gets very heated when people feel like, I'm just as good as you. I love my man as much as you love your wife. Blah blah blah. Who are you
whose
to say?
rights trump and others' rights?
Right.
It's a sticky issue.
Exactly. I don't know that this would be as sticky an issue, and maybe it wouldn't even be relevant. But if someone said, "Yeah, I'm having a Nazi-themed wedding this year, and I want you to cater it," and if someone went, "Fuck you, I'm not catering your Nazi wedding. I'm not in any way comparing gay marriage to. I'm just saying, like, to people that don't agree with what you're doing, what demands can you make on them to serve the public? You know what I mean? And so it's very easy to take a yes or no opinion on something like gay marriage, depending on where you fall. But it'll be interesting to see how that ruling's made, you know, when that comes down. But
Homo cake.
Homo cake v. Catholicism. Look for that in theaters 2017.
But in the meantime, they get the summer off. Good for them.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they? I guess he was big also in replacing...
Why do these political people get the summer? They get a summer vacation?
They're working very hard. Yes, they get the fucking
about
summer
that.
off. I know.
Dude, they cherry pick like 9 cases a year. I mean, it's the
And then
sweetest
they-
job on the
just the
planet.
And then they have
Senate, the
clerks who are unbelievably skilled and smart and they,
Gifted, talented.
and they fucking do pretty much everything.
But just
Yeah, but isn't that one of those jobs where if you earn that seat, you can kind of coast, man? You've
Lifetime appointment.
You've clinked up the roller coaster, and now once you get there, it's like now you're on the sweet part of the ride, the hoops and the long drop and all that stuff.
But I'm just talking even the whole government, the Senate, the Senate, the House, and they.
Well, that's farcical because it's made so that they can go back to their constituents and serve their constituents and find out what their constituents want and need and roll up their sleeves and do the work of the people.
Sure.
And you know what's going on. They're fucking out of there.
So bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
okay, a week into July. You want to
Dude.
take a week in July 4th.
They had a
you know,
couple
week-
weeks off in the spring, you know, for the Easter break, or I'm sure they don't call it Easter, spring break, whatever it is. And then they have this short little window. It's infuriating, man.
Yeah.
They get dick done all year.
People say that with government jobs in general. You know, any sort of government job, they get tremendous amounts of time off. But it really, when you have these ones where it's like 5 weeks off in the summer, you're like, what are you, in grade school,
I know.
dude? What's
Why
the
are
matter with you?
grade schools even getting 5 weeks off? Don't get me started on that.
I know you hate that. But
Fuck!
you hate it for selfish reasons.
My kids are home now. It's so weird.
Yeah.
I wake up and there they are.
You don't want them there.
No, I love my kids, but it's just strange. It's a different rhythm, man.
Yeah. It does throw things off, dude. There's no doubt. There's a whole, like, getting back in gear and back into the school thing.
Yeah. Took that little sweet pie to a camp this morning.
Really?
Yeah, us and Sarah, we tried it. Well, Sarah's the king of this. She gets her kids in like 18 different camps all summer. She does like the vacation Bible school rounds of like the Lake Orion, Auburn Hills area.
I
Just
so remember those.
Yeah, every other week their kids in a vacation Bible school.
Yeah, I remember going to Ward Presbyterian Church every summer, and I think my mom even, back when she was doing the church thing before, she was like, yeah, I can't take the guilt thing they're putting on me. I'm out. And took a knee when I was like 12. But until then, she would like
Yeah.
be the one, she was the mom that would be there and be like a volunteer.
Yeah.
You know, probably to make sure no one touched her kids or something inappropriately. That's probably what her mindset was at the time. But I just remember like being outside and playing Foursquare and then getting those red and white striped bags with popcorn in them.
Oh,
I
wow.
love those
That's
things.
a good VBS.
It was my favorite part of Vacation Bible School,
Yeah.
and I'd get my bags of popcorn and I'd play and play.
Been to my
and
share of
play.
vacation Bible schools too. I can't say I really enjoyed a lot of them. I
Yeah.
do remember playing a lot of kickball though.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, I think there was some time when you had to go in and like read about
Sing songs and stuff.
and read about the Ark and all
Father
that stuff.
Abraham had many sons. Many
Jesus
sons
loves
had
you,
Father
this I-
Abraham. I am one of them, and so are you. So let's all praise the Lord.
Oh.
No? Don't remember that one?
I don't remember that one. What were you? Are you Lutheran or are you?
Lutheran, but I've been to a bunch of VBSs. I got shipped around too.
Yeah, were they just trying to ditch you?
I think so. Looking
Yeah.
back and seeing what
Makes
Sarah
sense.
does now, it's like, they were trying to ditch me all summer.
Yeah.
And my mom had to work, so it was probably just easy.
Yeah, just dump him off at this church, whatever.
They'll teach him something.
I remember Jesus loves you, this I know, something along those lines.
So pitchy. Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Little ones to him belong. We are weak.
Man, I hope
we
my
are
dick
weak.
grows
no,
long.
come on,
Yeah,
man.
that's how it
We
was.
are weak, but he is strong.
And God, I hope when I get older, my
Stop
dick grows
it.
long.
All right,
That's,
now you're-
I thought that's how it's. Sorry, dude. I told you I didn't remember all the lyrics.
Look at this.
The thing that sucked about
sorry.
that, though, my mom at some point thought catechism was a good idea.
Yeah, that's Catholic. I've never gone through catechism, but I remember a lot of my peers doing that. And
Dude.
that was quite a process.
Traumatic.
Really?
Yes, I've blocked a lot of it out. I don't know what happened. I swear to God, I remember some sort of
Oh,
like
really?
dungeon dungeony feel.
What?
Like all these kids are on the table. I've probably built this up in my mind, but I just remember being at a really young age and like, dude, are you shitting me? Like, I'm not
Young
retaining
age, Catholic
any
school,
of this stuff.
blocking it out.
Acolyte?
Yeah, I'm not saying
Robe,
it.
lifting
Dude,
the robe.
Was there a rogue finger placed somewhere it didn't belong? I can't say no.
Seriously, you've blocked this out? This is weird, Mike.
I don't remember any details except that I fucking hated it. It seemed weird and very preachy and long. And I was there for I don't know how many weeks, and it felt like an eternity. But that was around the time my mom went, we're out. So maybe I came home and said, someone fingered my butt. And then she was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I don't know.
Look at this.
What do we have, Easus? Number of days Congress works in a session during the year. The House of Representatives has an average 138 legislative days a year. Oh, sons of bitches.
Since 2001, I think it says.
Dude.
Wow.
And then it says, I think the other one was
The Senate
160.
is in session an average of 162 days.
Fuck them, man.
So you're telling me there's, what, 203 days they're not working and 162 they are?
And I will
Rest
say,
of the time, Mike, they're with their constituency,
Yeah.
rolling up their sleeves.
Practicing for the big baseball game
True.
coming up this weekend?
yeah. I will say, I get, like, on the state level, because I actually know my brother.
The state level, they say cut it and just do
Right.
part-time.
Right.
I'm all for it.
Right.
Yeah.
My brother
Save
lives
some funds.
in Montana, I think, as we've talked about. I don't know how many times we've talked about, but he lives in Montana, and he does work with, like, the state legislative over there, and that's how they do it. Dude, they have, every 2 years, they have, like, a 90 days or some shit where they do every fucking thing, 90 days, and it's like, boom, we'll see you
Wow,
in 2
look at
more
that.
years.
They get in there and get it done.
Yeah.
So,
How's that working for them?
I don't know.
Aren't
But
there many bitches out of
my
Montana?
main point was,
Only,
like,
only thing I remember is that guy getting in the fight with the reporter a month ago.
oh, yeah,
Remember?
that's a good point.
That was a special
Which-
election.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Montana. You're
Yeah.
right.
Beat
yeah,
me
yeah.
up and broke my glass, or you body slammed.
You broke my glasses.
uh,
Do you have it there, Jay? You broke my
You
glasses.
just body slammed me and broke my glasses.
You just spotted
Broke my glasses.
Get the hell out of here. Can I get you guys' names?
Can I get your guys' names?
That was Montana.
Dude, that's the guy that goes to the cop. I'm going to need your badge number and your name.
Yeah.
You just body slammed me and broke my glasses.
I guess my point was I can see on a state level why they, that makes sense. States just don't have as much money, but on the national
Oh,
level.
so we can just blow it on their 131 days a year, E? You're fine with that?
No. I was saying that how I said it. No.
Fuck this. We should limit these guys too, E.
Well, yeah, why
They're
not?
working
Well, if they're not
131.
going to
Make
work,
it part-time!
well, you're right. If they're not going to work, then make it part time.
It's public
They should be
service.
working
Do
longer,
it
is
for
what I'm
free
saying.
anyways. Do it for free. It's
There you
public
go.
service. How about that?
Well, yeah, it's supposed to be just for the country, right?
Yeah. Going back to Justice Kennedy, he's replacing him with a Trump nominee a lot of people believe would almost certainly sound the death knell for Roe. Poor Roe in Roe v. Wade. We all remember that.
I don't know. It's pretty established precedent. I think some of those guys have indicated that they're not totally fine with just completely overturning it.
Well, some believe that. I wouldn't be in favor of that. You would be in favor of that. And they say Kennedy has frustrated people too as a justice because he was big time in favor of the courts being colorblind forever, and then apparently he made some ruling about
Some affirmative
action opinion he did is with understanding without understanding his earlier jurisprudence. They say is different. For decades, he has been the court's most eloquent voice on the need to be colorblind. Why he changed his mind on something is something historians will debate for decades, trying to figure out why he did that. He doesn't owe anyone an explanation either.
Did he make that turn in the U of M case, mainly?
I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know much about this, but they're talking also about, like, why now? Why would he do this now? And one of the things is,
What,
retire.
Dude, he's fucking 80.
I know.
And he's
It's-
supposedly conservative, so you would think you'd let a conservative replace you. But
Yeah. One of the other things I read, too, was how he might not be in favor of doing that just yet because the climate is so tense in America with politics and blah, 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 and he might want that to cool down a bit first, so he might wait a year. I'm thinking as if the climate politically
cool down.
is going to cool down in the next year. Stop it. Did you see Philando Castile's family?
the Calrissians go home with $3 million.
Yes.
$3 million. Cold hard cash.
Yep. $3 million, not bad. Philando Calrissian.
By all accounts, this
Castile?
guy was a great guy. I feel bad for them.
I know, but if you've got to, if you guys got to go down to Chinatown,
Dude, it could be worse. A lot of people die, and they just die. You don't get paid $3 million. So
yeah, having it blow up in the public's eye.
I would
like
say most people will probably die, and that's the case.
yeah, but not at the hands of
Oh yeah, you're right.
No, how
an
you die,
overreaching government.
how you die, and when you die, and the circumstances can play a huge role. You think about 9/11, like 3,000 people died, and it's awful. And then they have these, like
That
what was
sort of troubled me. Like, why are we paying these families this much?
I know.
I mean, nobody
know.
wanted to say it at the time, but I was like, wait, what?
Didn't they get a special group like Kenneth Starr or something to come and like do an assessment on people's
there's
value? And
Yeah, the actuaries move in, and they're like, this guy's this age, this race, this rank in his job, blah, blah, blah. And they can like go, to the penny of what he's worth.
what his value
put
is.
put a dollar on it.
And then it was like, this guy, this guy's a janitor here, and he would have earned this. But they all, the point was, they all got humongous payouts. Humgoras. And there were people that were like, yeah, my brother was killed in a motorcycle accident that day. Does he get?
I know.
Like, is he cashing in? And when you really take a step back and think about it, it's like tragedies happen every day that fuck families.
I never got that, honestly. I was
Yeah.
always like, okay.
What was that? Why did they do
I think it was so that they wouldn't sue the airlines. That it would have crippled the airline industry.
Oh, okay.
It was a settlement that took away claims against the airlines.
That sort of makes sense. I mean, seriously, it does. I've never heard that. That does sort of make sense. Anyway, so Philando Castile's family gets $3 million. They said the death of Philando Calrissian Castile is a tragedy for his family and for our community. The parties moved expeditiously to resolve potential civil claims resulting from this tragedy in order to allow the process of healing. That's what we really need, is the healing process to begin and to move forward for the Calrissian Castile family and for all those impacted by the death of Philando Calrissian Castile throughout the United States. So basically what that is saying is we paid them a lot of money because we know there's a lot of attention from the country on this and we want them to be able to heal too. That's crazy.
Sure.
So that shows you how important like a news coverage of a story like this is.
Well, it shows an insurer acting to eliminate risk.
Yeah. Well, no amount of money could ever replace Philando. The resolution of the claims, the family will continue to deal with their loss throughout the important work of the Philando Calrissian Castile Relief Foundation. Nice. So yeah. Anyway,
You're putting all three of that million into that, or
my guess is no. No, it's
or
one of those
start
like
a foundation now, and then money will come in afterwards.
It'll be invested in Cloud City in a responsible way.
That's right. Very true. I really don't have one. The Michael Brown one is the one that I was like,
I know the guy's fucking attacking the guy.
You've
All evidence points to the fact that he was attacking a cop.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he's got a plaque. There's this poor guy who was murdered by a cop. Give me a
martyr,
break, man.
Absolute martyr for the nationwide cause to Michael Brown. No one gives a fuck about Darren Wilson. His career is toast. His life is toast.
Target on his back for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
He's living under an alias, Aaron Milson.
As we know, in the neighboring county, I believe.
I'll never find him.
No, absolutely not. Even though he's like 6'5", blonde, or it's gonna be hard for him to avoid detection. But Officer Yanez too, in this case,
Geronimo
Yanez, he's leaving the department. Not much of a shock there, but his testimony was like, I saw him reaching for that gun. He was pulling the gun. He was not pulling his wallet out. He was not pulling his ID out. That was the testimony he gave. And of course, that I feared for my life. I thought I was going to be killed. Which is, if he was really feeling that way, that's a reasonable statement. But it's his life will never be the same.
A jury who listened to that found him what?
They found him not guilty.
Yes, they did.
They found him innocent, as a matter of fact.
Innocent, free to go.
Hey, everybody, check out the Detroit Cast listener business page. It's a page under the Help the Show tab on our website. And, a lot of you out there probably haven't even checked out our website, DetroitCast.com. Check it out. There's all sorts of shit on there. But under the Help the Show, there's this listener business page. The page includes businesses owned by listeners. Take a look. It'd be great to support the supporters of the show. And check it out and make sure you come back. Most importantly, make sure you're supporting the businesses and recommending them to friends and family. Today's featured listing is Peerless Steel. These guys distribute tons of steel. None of it is Chinese.
None of it, all U.S. based.
It's all
and made.
U.S. based. Next day delivery throughout the Midwest. They've been doing this since 1946 and shit.
Back when the country was great.
That's right.
We want to make it great again, like it was back then for the fine folks at Peerless Steel, the best.
Bigly.
Bigly Steel Company, right here in the U.S.
The second featured listing is The Blind Biz. Check them out, specializing in all
I love
types.
the blind. I want them all to have proper canes and glasses, sunglasses, so we don't have to look at their weird eyes.
Mr. Trump, they are.
Yes.
Yeah, this is actually blinds, like
Yes, the
window
blind.
coverings.
We love the blind. We love all retarded and disabled people, including the blind. Even when we have to take their canes away because they don't act responsibly with them, sometimes we have to give them pool noodles because they beat their neighbors on school buses.
Wow, that's a callback. 3 years ago, remember that?
I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it.
There's a little kid, man.
Dude, I'll never forget it because of one line you delivered in there. When they said, they gave him a pool cue because he was essentially by doing that you were essentially taking his eyes away from him. And Jay went, well, then he shouldn't be throwing his eyes at hitting people with his eyes or throwing his eyes at people on the bus.
I don't remember that.
I remember that. It killed. Oh, dude.
You're very close. I don't remember the exact phrasing, but you're very close to it. I know that.
The Blind Biz. They specialize in all types of custom blinds, shades, and shutters, free in-home consultations, and free installations. They serve all of Metro Detroit. So check out our listener business page, everybody.
They love the blind bigly. Pizzagate. Remember Pizzagate?
I do.
Shooter got 4
I
fucking
know
years,
he did.
dude.
I know he did.
That's a long time.
Of course, this is the guy who thought that Hillary Clinton and her cohorts were holding children
John Podesta
in the basement of this pizza place in like D.C.
Comet Ping Pong Pizza.
And he believed, pursuant to fake news articles that got whipped around the internet, that these kids were being held down there and tortured. So he showed up with an assault rifle.
With an AR-15.
Yeah, ready to free these children.
And he fired 3 shots.
Into the ground, right?
Yeah, like one into a wall. It was said it was in the basement, so I think he was trying to shoot into the basement. And if he saw light come through there, or a kid's finger come up through there, it was on. He was going to save him. What if he would have shot one of the kids that was down there? You know,
kind of defeats the purpose.
Part of me feels bad for this guy. I got to be honest, man. Part of me feels really bad for him because the fact is we live in a world with a lot of dumb people in it. Jay, you've seen this firsthand of late.
They're walking amongst us.
They are, and
they're sitting amongst us.
There's a lot of people that listen to Alex Jones. It's false flag. You know, pizza, common pizza, ping pong. It's code words. It's code words. I know what they're saying. He was playing ping pong with his ding dong and the kids. It's code words.
He was pushing that, right?
Oh,
This is
yeah.
the story he was pushing.
Hell yes. And then Michael Flynn Jr., Michael Flynn's
That's
son,
right, man.
retweeted.
During the transition, he got pulled
Yes.
off the transition team because of that.
Yes. And so people like Edgar Welch, who's 29 years old.
Edgar. Oh, Edgar.
Edgar fucking bought this hook, line, and sinker, man. They threw the reel out, the reel out there, and he bought. And he's, in its defense, he really believes John Podesta is fucking kids in the basement of a pizza joint in DC, in the DC area, and he thinks that Hillary Clinton might have her gigundous strap-on and also be fucking kids down there. He believes that.
And this allowed the left ammunition to point back to the right when the lefty came out and shot up the baseball diamond. Like, well, look what you guys did, too.
Yeah.
You thought there was a damn pedophile ring going on in the basement of a pizzeria. You're stupid, too.
Yeah. The fact that that story got picked up and run with by the likes of Alex Jones is kind of infuriating. Like, I don't mean to repeat ourselves, but it's like, dude, if you want to claim the moon landing's fake or, you know, there's alien life, you know, they're hiding alien life from us, it's false flag.
By the way, speaking of alien life, did you hear this today?
I think I know what you're
I heard
talking about.
Anonymous. Anonymous hacked NASA, and they said that there was some meeting where high-level NASA guys... Meeting? I said a meal! There was some high-level meeting where the guys were talking about, hey, look, you know, we are on the cusp of finding alien life forms here, so be ready for this.
And what they also said, because alien life,
Dude, it's an amoeba.
Dude,
Right,
that's the thing.
Everybody pictures like these, aliens walking around like, oh,
Green limbs.
yeah, they're gonna be our buddies or something. No, it's a fucking amoeba or some moss or some shit.
Oh, you are wrong, sir. Because that was my fear. They're going to go, an amazing discovery. We have found, 1/1,000,000th of an inch size amoeba in some pond on.
What makes you think that's
Planet
not
X.
the case?
It very well could be. But part of what Anonymous was saying was they believe this is actually like having contact with alien life that they've discovered. And it's possible.
The quote I read, though, it was like, we're on the cusp of that. Well, dude, what does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean in your meeting?
I watched some of that Anonymous thing, and what they were saying in the 12-minute video made it sound like that they're not just talking about an amoeba, that this could be the real deal, like green arms and face, guitar pick shaped head with bulbous black
Big
eyes.
bulbous eyes.
Yes, like the whole deal. Nanu, this thing,
Yeah.
the Spock thing, like all of it, dude. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be awesome? They find that?
Certainly change the subject, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Until they fucking kill us all.
Yeah. But if you want to not believe in that, and moon landing's fake, like whatever, okay, some people are gonna be pissed and it's laughable. But something like this where you identify an actual business, like the guy that owns Comet Pizza, Ping Pong, or whatever, there gets death threats still. I mean, people come into his restaurant. He was getting calls from all over the world from people who just believe Hillary Clinton's a monster. Podesta's a weird alien ring dude who believes in extraterrestrial life like crazy.
Well, he and Tom DeLonge, righty? Your Blink 182.
Well, if only
all the small things. That Tom.
Well, if Hillary had won, Tom was going to be right in there, if you
I know.
remember. Right in there to let us all know
he
about
was so
aliens.
rock, man.
Dude, he's so rock. Think about some of the appointments that Trump has made where it's like Jared Kushner or his daughter, is on the board of it. Like, imagine how pissed off people on the right would be if it's like Podesta and Hillary in there and it's like, we'd like to appoint Tom
Mr.
DeLonge. Mr. DeLonge's had a fucking lip ring. He's going to be the administrator to the foreign agency on, the NASA program at Langley. And you're just like, oh, okay, all right, this is hilarious. Because it sounds like Tom DeLonge really seriously would have had a foot in the door, like had correspondence with Podesta about this type of shit. They both believe the same stuff.
Wow.
So anyway, this guy believes this, and he goes in there with the AR-15, and the judge came down hard on him, bigly, and said let's see.
It's the firing of the shots that got him, dude. If you
Yeah.
don't fire the weapon.
But they said the guy's got no criminal history. So like this is like a
What
one-off
does he
moment.
deserve if he doesn't deserve 4 years?
The sentence far exceeded the defense's case for a shorter 18-month term, as well as the average 37-month sentence for a defendant of similar charges, according to Judge Ketanji Jackson. The extent of recklessness in this case is breathtaking. It is sheer luck that no one, including Welch, was killed. I've never seen anything like the conduct we see here today. The judge did believe that Welch had good intentions, but deemed his actions an assault on the rule of law that could potentially inspire future ill-conceived plots by vigilantes. And many of the victims in there were like, yeah, I forgive you, buddy. I'm sorry. You're so retarded that you thought there was a child sex ring going on down here. You're kind of a dope, and we're sorry. And then he got up there and was like, yeah, I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything I caused. I just kind of acted like a dick face, and I was scared that kids were being raped and stuff down here, and I wanted to do what I could, so...
I could care less.
Fucking 4 years, man.
I don't have a problem with it.
Can't you take his retardation into this at all? I think they were doing some mental evaluations on him, and anyway, so we'll see, but I kind of feel bad for him. Let him spend the weekend in jail to think about what he did. Send him home and say, no guns for you, sir. You don't get guns anymore. See, we got a professor fired.
No.
For Otto Warmbier, a.k.a. Larry.
Okay.
She made some comments. Just a good-looking woman, too. You see her there?
Left or right?
The one on the stage right.
Yeah.
No, that's her dog, stage left.
Oh.
Yeah, that's one of those giant poodles.
Yeah.
But I could see where the confusion would come in. She's a University of Delaware part-time professor, and they've cut ties with her. Excuse me. She was basically saying that Otto
Got
aka
what he
Larry,
had coming.
deserved it. Yeah, her name's Katherine Dettwyler. Fuck, I got a frog in my throat. Can I drink a sip of water?
Sure.
I need an
give you a
applause
moment.
break.
Mike, we'll give you a moment.
I should have said something fucking great where the room just lost it.
One more?
That's thanks, guys. Take it from here, dude. That's the best thing ever. That applause or laugh
Just
break.
give me the high sign next time.
Yeah, there she is. There's a color picture. If you're watching this, you can see her there.
Yeah, that's wow.
Beautiful
Just
woman.
Color bland, maybe.
Yeah.
What are you doing with the hair there?
I was going to ask when you
getting a
decide.
little long, just go across the front and trim those bangs and be done with it.
But
She has sideburns.
But I still want to keep it where I can pull it back into a proper ponytail.
Yeah.
But I want bangs. How do I do it? Well, I mean, Catherine, you could go with this look. I mean, it's not popular. It's very dated, if ever in use. But no one's saying you can't do it.
Okay, so
Trailblazer.
she's an old lesbian. Tell me more.
Okay. A spokesman for the college said will not be renewing her contract in the future. They previously said her statement did not reflect the values or position of the university. Our sympathies are with the Larry family. Post quickly sparked anger on social media, and there were some people.
Did you already read her comment?
Nope.
Did I get- okay.
No, you didn't. Nope, you didn't. Like Ann Coulter started tweeting to their massive fan bases, like at this college. You know, hey, are you going to do anything about these comments from one of your professors? And then you just lay that out there to your Twitter audience of however many millions they are, and all of a sudden they have to fucking respond. And you know, what are you going to do? We're not just going to sit back and let the left destroy anybody that says anything inappropriate on the right and try to ruin them. So, you know, maybe it's cool if we go, how do you feel about this? We're expecting comment from you, university. And so then they're like, yeah, fuck, she is white, probably terminate her.
Yeah.
She's lesbian, we'll have to get over that. But other than that, anyway, her comments, going back to her comments. Let's see here.
Is she lesbian or is that just alleged?
That's alleged, but
Alleged
there's
and supposed.
There's a lot of evidence. It's all circumstantial at this point, but there is a.
We have one photo.
But that one photo.
It was damning.
I mean, if there's a picture of me like balls deep in a guy's ass, right? Just balls deep. It's just a damning photo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, if she wants to come out and go, this is photoshopped. Here's what my actual hair looks like. Here's the same picture, but with an untouched, unphotoshopped version. My glasses are different, and
Yeah.
my hair is different, and my dog is different.
We'd be willing to take that under consideration.
I'm actually hugging my loving husband and 2 children, not a giant poodle in this picture. I think it's fair. We would definitely take that under consideration. So her statement was, and it's I think some of her words were wrong in using, but is it wrong of me to think that Otto Warmbier Larry got exactly what he deserved? He went to North Korea, for fuck's sake, and then acted like a spoiled, naive, arrogant U.S. college student who never had to face the consequences of his actions. I see him crying at a sentencing hearing and think, what did you expect? How about the moments of thought to give to all the other people in North Korea who are suffering under this repressive government? Just because they are North Koreans and not U.S. citizens, we shouldn't care about them? I've spent my life teaching folks like Otto, and Otto is typical of the mindset of a lot of young, white, rich, clueless males who come into my classes. These are the same kids who cry about their grades because they didn't think they'd really have to read and study the material to get a good grade. They simply deserve a good grade for being who they are. Or instead of crying, they bluster and threaten their female professors. His parents ultimately are to blame for his growing up thinking he could get away with whatever he wanted. Maybe in the U.S. where young, rich, white, clueless white males, she said white twice in there, routinely get away with raping women. Not so much in North Korea, and of course it's Otto's parents who will pay the price for the rest of their lives.
Wow, did she imply a lot there, huh?
Yeah, sure did. Yeah.
You know, is there something to be said for being naive, going into North Korea like that on a tour and then having the balls to steal a poster? Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Dumb kid. Maybe some privilege went into that background of I never get in trouble for shit. So
Yeah.
but you're implying a ton.
Yeah.
And then that whole final 3 quarters is just white.
Yeah, an attack. Well, she's probably seen so many other people do it and be praised for it, for just like going out of their way to smash white privilege anywhere they can. So figured she'd jump into the game. You know, there's a lot of people that believe. You know, I had mentioned to you like a week ago, Jay, about this internet thing, about this floor in North Korea at this
Right.
particular hotel. And rumor is that what Otto was trying to do was steal this poster. Apparently, there was a reward, like it's a game. If you can steal something from this floor, it was like a $10,000
Oh, okay.
payout. And so
It's
kids,
like getting on TV, like, hey, Bill Clinton is a racist, righty?
totally. And so for a lot of people, it's like, well, you fucking clueless, privileged American student. What, you think this is a game on the world stage? You think everything's, you know, gonna take into account that, oh, you're an American student.
Dude, I would have done something like that. Fuck.
Not in
you know?
North Korea, you wouldn't have.
Yeah,
No, you wouldn't have.
I
dude.
would not in North Korea, but I would do dumb shit. I mean, yeah, I've
Yeah.
done a lot of dumb shit.
I've all done dumb shit. Yes.
Someday I'll tell you a story, Mike.
You keep doing that to us. Stop doing that. Just tell us the story.
No.
The statute of limitations is long expired. What did you steal? Is it worse than the pendulum?
I didn't steal the pendulum.
But you didn't turn him in either.
Oh, just as guilty.
Listen.
I'll tell the story someday. On my
Someday
own
being
on my
2
own
day?
time.
3 day, 1 day, 2 day.
Maybe.
Let's go 2 day.
Maybe this week. We'll see.
All right. Do I know the story?
You know the story.
I do.
Don't pretend you don't.
I didn't know which story you were going with. Now I know the
Me
story.
induced.
Oh, I remember. That's my favorite story. It's one of my favorite stories. No, but the thing is, Jay, you would not have been naive enough to try to steal something from North Korea like that.
I
You
could
would-
totally see why kids do, though, you know?
Yeah,
Just
I know.
trying to one-up and...
I think it was Dateline, maybe 2020. I always get them confused. Did a big thing on Otto Warmbier, a.k.a. Larry, over the weekend. And there were a lot of family quotes and friends. And by all accounts, you know, for what they laid out, he was not one of these, like, privileged, fuck you, bro, I'm white,
Yeah,
bro.
he's taking a lot of heat just for how he looks, you know? He
Yeah.
had like, the sport coat on and the pastel striped shirt. You know,
Yeah.
just kind of looked like a douchey East Coaster, kind of.
Yeah.
You know, kind of the longer hair on top, and just looks like a white privileged guy, you know?
Yeah, but I think
But-
he was really smart. I think he was really smart and really liked. He was very adventurous and wanted to travel the world and was kind of doing that. So it wasn't like he was just, you know, thrown into a program. You know, like he went out of his way to go here and like
Yeah.
he liked danger and adventure and wanted to go to. Like, I want to see what this North Korea is all about, you know. And he learned he learned with the ultimate.
Yeah.
Paid the ultimate price for that. But
No, he's taking a lot of heat for his appearance, bottom line.
Yeah.
If he appeared differently in those videos, it'd be a different narrative.
North Korea needs to shut the fuck up too. They're coming out and saying stuff like they're the victim
Yeah,
here
I saw
because South Korea and America are going out of their way to
Villainize.
to make this narrative out and you know they don't usually their local run state media doesn't usually make comment, but they claim that it's a smear campaign that insulted what it called its humanitarian treatment of him.
What's their explanation of how he ended up that way? Just one day they went in his cell and he's
You know what?
unconscious or something? Have they given any sort of account?
They've given a slight account, and it does have a little bit of credibility. They just said, "I don't know," which, you know, I mean, if you don't, like, you can talk yourself into trouble if you're not careful. So if you just go, "Yes, fuck, we don't know any more than you," you know, it's at least a leg to stand on.
Yeah.
Although we had no reason at all to show mercy to such a criminal of any enemy states,
Such a criminal.
we provided him with medical treatment and care with all sincerity and humanitarian basis until his return to the United States, considering that his health got worse. Groundless speculation of torture and beatings could be refuted by American doctors who came to North Korea at the time of Rari's repatriation and recognized that his health indicators like pulse, temperature, respiration, and the examination result of the heart and lung were all normal.
Glad his purse was normal.
His purse was normal.
The fact that Warmbier died suddenly arrest in a week just after his return to U.S. in his normal state of health indicators is a mystery to all. To make it clear, we are the biggest victim of the incident, and there would be no foolish judgment than to think we do not know how to calculate gains and losses.
They're
Guns N' Roses.
no. I think no.
Gains and Roses.
No. I don't think Guns N' Roses toured there even. No, he was saying gains and losses.
Ah,
Yes.
now I gotcha.
Gains and roses!
Sure.
What does Axel have to do with this, sir?
Leave him out of it.
No, Guns and Roses! Guns and Roses!
Sorry, he's saying gains and losses.
Yes, Guns and Roses!
So they don't like this smear campaign. Here's the problem with that statement. When you're like, such a criminal and enemy of the state. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, sorry.
Your premise is bullshit.
You haven't earned international credit. You haven't earned enough credit internationally for anyone to take you seriously. You seem like psychopaths. You've got a regime that gladly and openly will throw people in jail for long periods of time. 15 plus years for letting dirt compile on a frame of the dear leader in your home. You know, those are real. Like, a lot of people have backed that statement up.
Yeah.
And anybody that even looks sideways or doesn't cry hard enough at the funeral of someone like that, you're tortured for shit like that.
Dude, to be fair, I mean, how neglectful do you have to be to let dirt build up on a frame?
well,
Even the most, the least ardent duster among us has not let more than, just an eighth, a 16th of an inch of dust build up on anything.
yeah, but if it does, and I've seen worse than that, and it just leaves a window of opportunity. Like, if you wanted to go in and fuck with someone,
Dirt?
like you could just.
I
be
mean,
like,
that tells me you don't give a fuck.
yeah, but dude, if you were like,
Dirt?
if you had some guy in North Korea and you wanted to bring the hammer down on him, and you're over there like, ugh,
White glove in it?
yeah, you wanted to take a white gloved pinky. And just be like,
Okay, that's fine. If you're going to tell me there's some
what do we
dust.
have here?
But dirt? See, even that's never, ever been dusted right there, what you just did. You just ran that across your M&M poster.
Well, yeah,
And
they
that
were
rendered
living, though,
just
aren't-
that rendered just a little tiny. Not,
That
put a
will
dime
get
size put a dime sized nipple next to that. I mean, that is just tiny, And you're talking about dirt building up on a frame? I say throw him in jail.
I think this counts as dirt, is what I'm saying. I think if you wanted to press the issue, then you would.
But sir, look at what they found on this frame.
I would argue all that is skin particles, because that's really
Maybe.
what dust is, isn't it?
Murdering, yeah, maybe, but I think you could pigeonhole that into your claims. The other thing is, students being taught from such an early age that American soldiers just want to come over and bayonet to death your pregnant women because they like to do it.
Yeah, they don't have much credibility, do
I
they?
mean, you just don't. Yeah, you just don't. Anyway, we should take a quick break.
We
Jake.
should collect our thoughts. Ease us, take us to break.
John McEnroe, talking about him. He's got a new book coming out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we got to get that. What do you think John McEnroe's book would be called?
I don't know his big lines.
I was thinking either, my favorite one when I was growing up, because I was young, and any sort of like damn or hell, anything like that would be like fucking rock. Horse manure, like, would be sweet.
Yeah.
His big one was, you cannot be serious.
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember, you cannot be
Is
serious.
this his second book? I feel like he's already done a book.
I know.
And what's he done since that book? I mean, come on, John.
Maybe it's a reissue of You Cannot Be Serious.
That's what it's called?
Yeah. Because that's what was my thought too. I'm
All he did was a
bummed to hear you say
game
that.
show in the last 10 years.
Nah, what are you talking about? You had the band.
Oh, yeah.
McEnroe's kind of killer
That's right,
band.
the band. I forgot.
Yeah.
The band.
He does some tennis announcing. He's won 7 Grand Slams. It's not bad.
Yeah, back in the day, back in the 80s, man.
I know, dude.
So you don't get 2 chances to write a memoir.
Okay, we'll do some research and see if it's a reissue. But I would love to read. You cannot be serious. And maybe even talk to him. But he had some words about Serena Williams and dare he. And then the new Ken doll's coming out. I'm excited for that.
Dude.
Huh? Looking forward to that. We'll get into that more next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hi, everyone. This is Kelly Menino, your event coordinator for the Hamlin Pubs. Did you know that Hamlin Pubs offer 2 private rooms at each location, both located in Shelby Township? We specialize in all kinds of events, from bridal and baby showers, dinner rehearsals, to corporate luncheons and wedding receptions. My team is committed to making your occasion your most memorable event. Give me a call today so that we can plan your next event. Call me at 586-596-1425 or visit our website at hamlinpubs.com.
The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
I don't know what the Detroit Cast is.
Marilyn, you're not alone. Most people don't know what it is. Don't feel bad. You've got enough on your plate. Do not take that on. Welcome back to the Detroit Cast, everybody. E, start the clock. Fuck, I don't.
It's making my bones hurt.
Have we gone? Are we? Where are we in the show now?
4 hours in. We could be 20 minutes. I don't know.
Christ's sakes.
Jesus!
How long have we been going? Seriously, E, I don't know.
Well, maybe we should just wrap it up and go home then.
Maybe. I don't want to do that again where it's like, shit, we did a 6-hour show. I thought the clock said
point out to
1
me
hour,
that-
11 minutes. I didn't know.
You're the professional. I mean,
Yeah, dude, I can only handle so much. You can't expect to throw that on Jay's plate. Dude, that's your responsibility. Literally, your only responsibility here is to start the clock, pause it when we go to break, and unpause it when we come back.
3 mouse clicks.
Yeah.
3.
And bring the camera back, which you successfully did.
Click
Thank
it
you, E.
thrice. That's it. Hey, we've got to remind everybody, Tiger tickets, Saturday, July 15th, Tigers v. Blue Jays, really good tickets, parking pass, etc. All you need to do to win these is go to iTunes and rate us.
How many tickets are there?
There are 4 tickets, sir.
I think we should make that abundantly clear.
That should be clear. 4 tickets. You
4
and your
tickets.
friends.
You and your children, your shitty kids, can
Yeah.
go there and take in a ball game.
Yeah.
Don't bring your breastfeeding kid unless your wife is really hot and she's not afraid to pull both titties out in front of the crowd to breastfeed. That would be acceptable. But we've got to be able to take pictures and gawk. Fair enough?
iTunes, please rate us. You will be entered into a drawing. What else you got, Mike? Housekeeping
Story-wise,
matters?
or did you want me to finish your
Housekeeping
thought?
matters.
Housekeeping matters.
Dirtface?
Oh, Dirtface. Why don't you talk more about Dirtface?
Sure. So we've got a new YouTube channel. A lot of you listeners probably have never even checked out our YouTube channel. We actually are on YouTube. Every episode is. We have a sliver of you that check that out. But what we'd like to do is build our subscribers on YouTube if possible, because it's Google-owned and Google rules the world, as we know.
We're
So
learning
it's-
more about their analytics and everything, and why these ratings and comments and subscriptions, why that stuff's important. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything to do it, but it's a really big help.
That's a great point.
us.
For those of you who just want to help out the show, you don't have the money to do X, Y, and Z, this is a free way that you can help us out. Go to YouTube and subscribe to our show, both the Detroit Cast and what I just mentioned, the Dirtface channel. We have a new channel, Dirtface with Mike and Jay, and this is going to be a means by which we kind of condense some little pieces of the show and ship them out strategically during the month, the year, and so forth. Just going forward, we'll have this new thing. It's not new content, so it's not like a members area or anything like that, but it's pieces of the show that we'll be shipping around, just growing the audience that way.
Yeah.
So
some things might be 3 minutes long. Some might be 15 minutes of a 30-minute interview.
if you want a condensed version of an interview that you think a friend might be interested in, ship them the Dirtface version, and that's what it's meant to be. Just kind of a quicker clip and
there's
draw
a-
some new listeners in.
There's a specific reason as to why we're calling it Dirtface.
Because I would not listen to the Cleveland cast.
Yes.
If I was a guy here sitting in Michigan and somebody told me to listen to the Cleveland cast or the Philadelphia cast, I would go, fuck off.
Yeah.
I have no interest in those cities.
Yes.
So we are somewhat limited by our name, the Detroit Cast, and so by doing this, by sort of subbing it down into the Dirtface, it creates a brand that isn't tied to a city. So everybody knows we really aren't focused on Detroit that much.
Very little.
And
Very
really could sustain much more of a national audience. I know we have people all over the country, all over the world who listen, and I'm sure they would agree. Like, yeah, there are some Michigan, Detroit things that we do, but it's not a daily Detroit show.
Yeah. There are certain shows, like you don't have to be New York based to enjoy the old Opie and Anthony show or Howard Stern show. That's where they were, and they're much like, as much as we talk about Detroit, those guys talk about New York. But it's not essential to listening.
Right.
Our name was in honesty. If I'm speaking honestly about it, was
Please
more
do.
of a placeholder because there was so much turnover, and I got fucked on the Drew cast. I never wanted to change anything, and it was my own fault. I knew I got talked into the Drew cast, not by Drew, but I got talked into that name, and I understood the idea. It's Drew Lane, put his name behind it, but I knew that was going to be a very, very short run for a couple months in the summer. I knew that was it, and so it was like, if I wanted to continue on, I wasn't going to be able to use Drewcast, and now you got to start over. And starting over comes with a lot more headaches than you think. It's a re-registering. all the listeners, you can't just transfer them over to your new site. It doesn't work like that. And so,
we've thought long and hard about just switching
Yes.
the brand, switching the name, and it would be a bitch.
and we've heard from countless people who are like, yeah, I tried to get my friend to listen, and I'm still working on him, but he goes, fuck,
not-
I don't care
not
about
interested.
Detroit.
Yeah.
And so Dirtface is a way for us to just like specifically target out people with content that's not Detroit centric. So we're not hindered by that. We're hoping that will help. So what do we want people to do? Go to YouTube?
Go to YouTube and search up the Detroit Cast. And if you don't if you haven't subscribed to our show on YouTube already, please do that. We again only have a sliver of people who have, and we really haven't pushed it. It's just
No.
something when you started this, you figured, what the hell, we're doing this, might as well throw a camera on it.
Yeah.
And that was a really good move because YouTube and Google are very important.
But we haven't utilized it at all. We haven't tagged anything. We haven't
Yeah.
made anything searchable or good for SEO. Like none of that stuff. We've ignored it essentially.
So go and search the Detroit Cast, subscribe to that channel, and then also search the channel Dirtface with Mike and Jay. Subscribe to that one.
So essentially what we've done is we've left ourselves with a torched, basically dirt lawn now, and we're trying now to get some turf depth, which
And it'll come back. It'll come back.
I don't need to explain, Jay, how important
Little water, little
our
fertilizer.
turf depth is.
By the way, Lawn Gal came by, Lawn Guy's wife, and fixed my sprinklers.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Word got around.
His wife. His
Ooh.
wife came out.
What's Long
She's-
Gale look like?
She's not as husky as you would think. No, she's a nice looking lady, and I felt bad
That's
because
a terrible question. What do you expect? Because odds are she's huge and
no,
gross.
she's not. She's not at all.
I know, but she very well could have been.
Yeah.
And then you're on the spot to go, oh, fuck.
I don't
No, she's
was a
she's
dick
got
move.
one of the finest personalities you ever. Like, what do? You put him in a really shitty
It
position.
was a dick move.
She's very nice.
total
and
dick
she's a nice, pleasant looking lady. But I saw this lady on my front lawn, all muddy and shit. I'm like, what is? And then I realized, oh, that's Lawn Gal. I went
Yeah.
out there. I was like, no, don't. Oh, Lawn Guy's not available. I'm gonna do this. I'm like,
he ordered her to go over there.
okay, thank you, ma'am.
Are we rocking now?
We're
though?
rocking, dude.
Excellent.
Turf
excellent.
depth is on its way.
Glad to hear that. Hey, recently we were talking about not necessarily retardation, but we were
Yeah,
talking
we
about.
weren't talking about E, were we?
Well, we sort of were. Remember the pinball wizard?
Yes. Dude, I continue to get emails like people like, you guys got to check this out. I'm like, yeah, you got to catch up on your episodes, man.
Yeah. What he had some form of autism that made him fucking sweet, Rain Man sweet at pinball, like world champion level. And it seems like a lot of these autistic people, we haven't found out what E's good at. I'm sure there's something.
Masturbatory practices. That's all we know so far. He's
Yeah.
excellent at that.
Yep. He's excellent at failing projects. But as far as like something that would benefit you, maybe it's pinball, maybe it's counting toothpicks in a box. I don't know. We're working on that, and he's working hard to figure that out as well. But to our point about how special these guys can be, we've got an autistic boy. He's 11. He drowned, which is not good news. It's terrible news. But apparently, he drew a scene of his own death, like a year before.
What?
Yeah.
What?
He had a premonition, according to his father. He's an 11-year-old.
So he is dead. He didn't drown. They resuscitate. He's gone.
No, he's gone.
Okay.
He's gone to soon bigly. Look at Ogie. Look at little Ogie.
Little Ogie, I would have thought was little Kristen, but okay.
Yep,
that's
little
Ogie, huh?
He doesn't live here in the country. But his actual name is Ognjen Rakocevic from Montenegro. They call him Ogie. There's a little Ogie.
Okay.
He was found dead last year on the shores of the Lake Skadar, the largest of Lake
Sure.
Skadar, the largest lake, obviously you know, but for the audience of Southern Europe.
Deadly undertow.
Yeah, exactly. His father, Branko, believes the youngster had a premonition of his death and had drawn a picture of himself in the exact spot he died.
Oh my gosh.
Ogie, as he was known, had wandered off. Don't show the picture yet, E. That's a good one. That's all right. That's all right.
That's just Montenegro in general.
Yeah.
And the lake behind it.
Yeah. So
Beautiful land. Beautiful.
So he had wandered off from his home and is believed to have fallen in the city's river and drowned. His body was later found where the river flows into Lake Skadar. He almost drew a photograph of the exact place he was found. There's an island of Vrangina. He painted a cross on the top of the hill. The sky is a sacred halo at the foot of the green reed. And what is brutal is that Ogie drew himself right in the place where he was found dead. I don't believe in coincidence. God's hand brought him here.
That's really astounding.
He's written a book, The Barefooted Prince. in which he has collected stories and songs dedicated to Augie as a tribute to his son's short life. It's as if he sacrificed himself for his small friends with autism.
It just sounds too exaggerated to the common person out there.
Ogie burned the fire all over Montenegro and alerted everyone, both firefighters and reservists, believers and atheists, and no one remained asleep. Everyone's been woke.
God's got his hand in this, and I truly believe that.
Psychologists are cautious about his dad's belief that his son foresaw his own death, but they agree that, in some cases, autistic children can often have special gifts.
Now I gotcha.
Citizens of the area have launched an initiative now in which they want a street to be named after him, a street which leads to the river, named after him. It doesn't have to be his full name. His dad's not greedy. Ogie Street would be fine.
Ogie will work.
Yeah, and so you see, there's where we lost young Ogie.
Okay, where exactly? I see mountains. I see a mountainous terrain. Generally.
Yeah.
The topography is interesting.
I think it'll help explain it when you see the picture that Ogie drew, and you'll know exactly where he was. But go ahead, E, if you want to pull that up.
Oh my! Are you fucking kidding me?
No, but you see.
Are you kidding me?
No, but his dad said his kid had a premonition. But Ogie,
this is just classic kid art. This is
shame
classic
on you.
1.5-year-old kid art.
Dude, it's clear. Like the river comes in through here, and Ogie's found drowned at the bottom of it, and you've got the blue halo, obviously, and there's a cross somewhere.
What
Hold on.
a bunch of bullshit.
No, but I think that's a cross up here, though.
Starting to believe you, Mike.
But what about the guy over here?
It's going to retell my premonition of my broken bone story.
Well, you can.
And then this.
But you're not autistic, though.
What's the son of D now?
Yeah, he was a fan of the Detroit cast.
Not only is this a shit picture, but this is a mess. This is just markers, just granted. But he used a lot of colors. I'll give him that. It's
he liked
veritable
bright colors.
rainbow,
and he liked purple. It seems like I don't know. Is autism come with like a
purple thing?
Do people like purple or something? Is that a big deal? Because there's a lot of purple and blue in there.
E, are you? Yeah, you're partial to purple.
You like purple, don't you?
My favorite color.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. So is it? I don't know if this is a guy jacking off over here, and is that Ogie at the bottom of the
dude?
What?
His dad.
He wrote a book, The Barefooted Prince, about this, and he's collecting songs from people and renaming.
Sorry for your loss, sir, but come on.
Yeah, this is one of the. I put this in the category of people that lose a loved one and then go to a medium, and it's like you're so desperate to get what I wanted to tell my father I loved him. I never had that conversation, and some idiot's going to go up there and go, "Well, it's funny you should mention that because I just heard from him."
And if you give me $25 more, I'll tell you what he said.
Yeah, and he feels your love, and he wants you to know that he is in a great place. And he loves you more than you know, and tears are streaming down this person's face, and you're going, I'm sensing someone with a Z in their name or a P in their name. It's like, oh, my husband was Pete. Oh, that's it, Pete. I'm hearing from Pete, and it's like, if you're talking to Pete, why don't you just say, yeah, where's Pete's wife? I've got Pete on the line.
Reminds me of the Jim Jones healings. Right, where he'd collect information from people in the congregation, then he'd go grab some chicken guts, and he'd be like, "Oh, I pulled the tumor out of you.
So and so's got cancer," and and it'd be his buddy or something.
That's repulsive, man. Taking advantage of people like that.
It is. Part of me is torn a little bit. It's like if someone can get peace for $50 by going to one of these things, and it's like you want to believe so much that the fight that you had with your husband the day before they died. Was not the end, and they really do love you and wanted to say this, and that makes your life better. But I really think a lot of people believe that. Like there's some idiot on stage.
Oh yeah, and that's not going to end there. That lady's going to go back to the medium again to get more info. It's not. Yeah. I would think that's a very rare instance where somebody is, oh wow, okay,
yeah,
I'm good to go now. I can go forward. I know that he has peace.
Yeah,
it's like, well, if. It's great to know that we have peace, but what else is going on? What can I expect up there?
I went to one of those rooms with Beth. She's into all kinds of weird shit. And so she's like, yeah, let's go see this thing. And I think it was free. I don't remember. But I went there and I sat there and she's literally having to elbow me because I'm getting mad. I'm sitting in there and I'm watching this fucking scam artist on stage walking around. I'm sensing a J. Is it a Jim or a James or a Jonathan?
My gosh, I'm Jay. I'm Jay.
Jay, yes. Yeah, it was Jay. Yes, Jay. Do you have anyone in your life with
Yes, I do.
That with like an H in their name or I'm seeing a C in their name or an L.
Sweet pie doesn't have an H or a C, but could it be sweet pie?
Maybe it was sweet pie. Has there been any tragedy in your life, Jay? Is there anything? And it's like, well, my grandmother died. It's your grandma died. Let's hear it for your Nana. What was her name? It started with a
Gloria. Her name was Gloria.
Yes. I was getting Gloria, and I knew that wasn't right. It just didn't feel right. But now that you say Gloria, it's Gloria. Gloria wants you to know, Jay, that she's in a wonderful place, and she thinks about you all the time.
Thank God.
And she just wants you to keep working hard and know that she's looking down, and she loves you very, very much, Jay. Let's hear it for Jay, everybody.
Yeah. Who do I pay for this?
And then Jay walks out with a shit-eating grin on his face, like, can you believe the miracle you just witnessed? How did she know that my grandmother Gloria, who passed away 26 years ago, how would she even know that I had a Nana Gloria? And it's like, because you're giving up all the information. The first clue, is there anyone with a G in their name? Anyone with a G?
How come there's never anything negative either? It's never like,
oh really?
I never hear anybody say. It's always like they said they're proud of you and just keep working. Or it's never like, you know what? They kind of said you were a disappointment.
And it's never
I never liked you.
It's never specific enough to like really like if she came up to me and went, "You're Mike, right?" Because I'm getting something and said some really, really, really specific traumatic shit about my childhood. None of this like, do you know what? Did you have a teacher growing up that was mean to you? I don't know his name.
Catechism.
Yeah.
1984.
Yes.
You're like, yes.
It was
my
horrible.
robe, my acolyte robe.
Did you have a teacher? I'm thinking Mr. Green, who was going to fuck the 6th grade teacher in front of the class. It was a big disappointment when it didn't happen. Yeah, I did. Like something, but it's never like that. So anyway, I think young Ogie is getting a lot more play than he probably deserves.
That was the worst picture I ever seen.
Yeah, I wanted to hold that off.
It wasn't even good kid art. I mean, kid art can, you always like your kids' art.
Come on,
but
dude,
I wouldn't even be proud of that. I'd be like, okay, sweet pie, let's try again next year.
I mean, that's literally a spitting image of the Montenegro lake and burial site for young Ogie.
His death, his body washed up, yeah.
And nothing else, if nothing else, it definitely warrants a book, and I'm glad the Barefooted Prince is coming out, and we can all enjoy that.
Hey, insurance, we all need it. Most of us don't know what kind of coverage we have or who provides it. Let fellow TDC listener Brent Wasick from Wasick Insurance Services change all that. Brent has over 29 years in the business and offers all types of insurance coverage: auto, home, health, life, business, commercial, and more. Call Brent Wasick at 734-455-1900. Get a free, no-obligation quote today. Again, that's 734-455-1900. Ask for Brent at Wasick Insurance.
You see, we're going full-on diversity in the world of Mattel, Jay.
Dude, Ken got freshened up.
Yeah, he sure did.
Oh, did he get turned into a bigger douche than he was?
He was a colossal douche for a long time. What was Ken meant for? Was Ken meant for girls that wanted to have like a boyfriend for Barbie?
I suppose. I mean,
that's the game, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, they're getting married.
I never had a Ken doll.
No, I don't think boys had Ken dolls. I think it was just, it was the girl that wanted them to get married.
Oh, okay.
Wanted to strip them down and push their strange,
mounds
androgynous mounds together.
Yeah, that plastic mound on Ken. And the plastic titty mounts were always nice. I remember my sister playing with those, and I was like, that's how you learned about doggy style at that age. You know what I mean? Or reverse cowgirl. I mean, I did. That's how you learn. You worked on positions with Barbie and Ken. Anyway, they've got they're getting quite a makeover for Ken and a variety of new looks. The broad-bodied Ken. Is that?
Look at these douchey Kens. Ugh. There's a man bun Ken.
Well, what you've got is, I'm assuming we've got black afroed gay Ken doll.
You ever met a black guy named Ken, number one?
No, not many.
I can't think
We've got studious gay Ken.
Yeah.
We've got a man-bunned gay Ken. We've got a sunglasses Miami, Florida gay Ken. We've got a corn-rowed
studious black guy Ken.
Gay Ken. And then we've got normal
Zac Efron looking gay.
Yeah, throwback. I was going to say a different Zach. Saved by the Bell Zach.
Gotcha.
Gay Ken doll.
Yeah, they are awfully gay.
Yeah.
And, dude, these are going to look so dated in like 5 years. That's the thing. They're trying to freshen it up, but, man, going to be obsolete. You telling me that dude with the man bun is anybody's going to buy that in 5 years?
Yeah, you might as well have mullet Ken out there.
Right.
That
was the thing about Ken. He was just sort of a standard dude.
Yeah.
Why they had to do all this?
Well, they made him blonde-haired and blue-eyed, and that's the problem. Because what is more hated on the planet right now than
blonde hair,
blue-eyed white people? I mean, it's an insult to people. Let's be honest. I mean, everybody knows that white people are fucking devils.
I'm fine with multiple races. I get that why they would want to do that, but man, some of the styles are just awful, though.
Yeah, I guess like they're coming out with slim, broad, and original, and so it's like, let's kind of fucking chunk his body up and make, we don't want some people that are a little overweight to feel bad, or normal people to feel bad, or like why don't we have anorexic Ken, bulimic Ken, because we don't want to leave anybody out.
Ken for everyone.
Ken is what Ken is. Ken is this. If you want to have a fucking William doll, man bun William doll, or I would name it K-Dog personally, but if you wanted to have the K-Dog Ken doll.
That's what they should have done, right? Because doesn't Barbie have a bunch of friends? Like, didn't she have a whole pack of friends?
She's got a bunch of whores she runs with? I didn't know that.
Honestly, I thought she did. Like Piper or something. I think I remember Weed having a Piper doll.
I think Piper.
Why don't they just have Ken and then a bunch of friends?
Oh my God! Look at these ads.
Ken
Look
or
at this.
Brad.
This one's for me.
Is that for real?
Is this for real, E?
This is someone goofing on it.
No, this was linked to an article.
Dude, the one on the far right is not a Ken doll. That's like a middle-aged man's face on that.
I mean, that came from this story. You don't have to play
Oh, it came from GMA. I'd say that's pretty legit then, dude. Did they really do a dad bod Ken with a balding head and glasses?
Really?
I mean, I didn't watch this whole
Oh my
story,
God!
but
Look
that
at they have a fat ass Barbie.
Yeah, I knew that.
Oh, look, I feel like Ken doll is what it is. This is the purpose of a Ken and Barbie. Now, if you don't like that, the greatest part about America is you can go make your own doll and make it more realistic, give it a more realistic body. And if the country likes that, they'll buy that. And then maybe Mattel will come out with their version of fat doll.
What are you saying, though? I mean, Mattel...
I'm saying Ken is what he is. This is a Ken doll. Ken is a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white person.
Ken is such a cultural phenomenon that you don't want to change him.
Ken has been around since the 50s, dude, and it sells well. And
Does it?
Yes, dude. The last quarter, it was down in sales from $141 million in their quarterly sales to $133 million in quarterly sales.
Is that like the first accessory when you own a Barbie? You get.
I don't know.
Because I would think pink Corvette, but
yeah, or maybe that's Barbie's quarterly sales. Either way,
can't be Ken. There can't be that many Kens, can there?
I
have no problem with them changing Ken. I just wonder if they're gonna regret the really like stylistic points of this thing.
Yeah,
man bun.
Yeah,
I think little kids don't give a fuck about that. You give them a few different options, they'll grab one.
Yeah,
like you didn't have to get that specific into like 17 or 19 different possibilities.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's all overkill, and the point is, we're living in a society where anybody that doesn't fit perfectly into their whatever they are isn't good enough, and people are feeling slighted, like there's some attack on them personally. You see it everywhere. You see it with healthcare right now, and it's like, this healthcare is an abomination. It's going to murder babies and people of color. That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to, and it's like, until people understand that there is nothing, there's no way to have a perfect solution for $320 million. Can we at least acknowledge that there's no doll that is going to be capable of representing everybody?
Yeah, but what's wrong with expanding it from one? Why are you so hung up on this, man?
I don't want to expand that
Why are you
one.
hating on Mattel?
That one exists. Now, if you want to have wheelchair dude, go fine.
You are really like Ken. Don't change Ken.
I think it's a push to something absurd. Okay, well, these 13 don't represent the whole country, so now what? We expand it more. We need retarded dolls. Ken doll. We need a retard Ken doll now. We need a wheelchair Ken doll. We need crutches guy. We need his house to have ramp accessories. We need super fat one. We need a baby that died at birth.
There's enough to hate on. Who cares that they expanded the Ken line?
Because it's the Ken line. It's not the people line. So fucking make a Lewis doll and a Jonathan doll and a whatever doll. That's the Ken doll. Barbie didn't just have a Corvette; she had a Jeep too.
Wow.
We didn't have to call it a Corvette and shape it like a Jeep.
He's passionate about.
No,
Ken.
I think, dude, you're missing my point. I'm
No,
talking.
you're
to
trying to
I'm talking
make this into this
issue.
large societal thing. And my thing is, if they think they can sell more dolls, fucking make more dolls, man. Make them different.
I think it's trying to be too inclusive, and we're trying to be too inclusive with everything we do, and we see it every night. And what it's doing is it's making every tiny, small fucking fraction of a group go, but I'm not represented.
Dude, if you had a wheelchair Ken and a transgender Ken, I would agree with you. But they
they're coming.
Okay.
There's your first step. There's your first
fine.
step.
When they do, I'll be with you. I'll be like, this is getting ridiculous. Right. But until then, like, feel free to change Ken. I'm going to choose to be happy on this one.
I know this is good news for me because my Christmas shopping for Jay is done as of June 26th. That we
Which one would I pick?
Oh, you're getting the man bun Ken, dude.
The skinny version, man bun.
Either that or dad bod.
Yeah.
Something to never shoot for, Jay. You're doing well so far.
Hey, Zott Ford and Holly is one of the largest volume F-150 dealers in our area, so they can offer TDC listeners ridiculous deals. Right now, purchase a new 16 Ford F-150 Super Cab XLT 4x4 at just $33,000. That's over $14,000 off sticker. Or lease a new 17 Ford F-150 Super Crew XLT 4x4 at just $199 a month. Peep their ferocious deals and massive inventory at dealsinthed.com.
E, can you order us the book You Cannot Be Serious by John McEnroe?
Jonathan?
Yeah.
He's been doing some interviews. I think he did like an NPR interview, and one of the interviewers asked him about Serena Williams, being the best female player ever, and he's like, yeah, no question. And so then she asked, what about her being the best ever without gender qualifiers? And he said, if she had to just play the circuit, like the men's circuit, that's an entirely different story. She'd be like 700 in the world.
It's true.
Maybe
it's
a little
totally
lower,
different game.
Maybe a little higher, and he's actually catching shit for this. He's catching some shit for this. And
that's creative.
The chick that asked the question was like, has gone on Twitter to like defend him. Like, he's not a monster or a sexist. Like, it is
Just
what it
look
is.
at the MPHs.
Yeah. The speed of the game.
The men's game is just serve, 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 serve.
Mm-hmm.
Try your best to maybe return it once. Women actually volley.
It's funny. He was like, "Yeah, she's got enough mental strength. Maybe she could win a game here or there against someone just based on that alone. Some guy chokes in a set or something." And it's funny because when Serena and Venus Williams were coming up, they actually did this challenge at a. It was an Australian Open, and they were dead. I guess they were really cocky. They were ranked really high, and they're like, yeah, no one can take us. And so they stormed into the tent for the men's thing at the men's ATP office to announce rather confidently they were ready to beat any tour player ranked around the top 200 if someone wanted to take the challenge. And so it just so happened that Karsten Brach of Germany was standing there and overheard him. He's ranked 203rd in the world. He was in earshot. He thought it'd be fun. So he stepped in. He's like, yeah, I'll take him on. And so they set a date, and there were a lot of people that were interested in going to this thing, so much so that they were like, only people with badges. This is going to get a little out of control. And so he goes and plays golf, plays a morning round of golf, and then he kind of saunters over the course and proceeds to just whip the dog shit out of them. Like, he's up 5-0 on Serena, like right out of the gate. In no time, but they said between games he's drinking beers and smoking cigarettes.
Oh shit!
He's having smokes and beers.
And he was ranked like 230. You said
203 at the time, and they said that was a generous 203. He did not look anything like the former athlete that he once was. He was out of shape, and he's smoking cigarettes and drinking beer during the game. She ends up winning a game, and he beats her like 6-1 in no time.
Yeah,
and then blew out Serena too, like 6-1 or something. And they quickly learned like, oh yeah, this is a totally different game. So much so that Letterman asked her a few years ago, just like 4 years ago, was like, hey, how do you think you would do against the men? And she's like, yeah. If I were to take Andy Murray on right now, 6-0, 6-0, he would beat me in maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If I was lucky, maybe 10 minutes. It's a different game. I'm proud of the women's game. It's not comparable. They would destroy me. But it's just funny, like, making a statement like that from McEnroe, and it's like,
Controversial?
sort of on a level, almost like,
Do you remember the Battle of the Sexes, though, with Bobby Riggs when he challenged Billie Jean King?
yeah. Isn't there some
She
bullshit
beat
to
him.
that, though? Isn't there some bullshit? I thought there was some,
I
like,
don't know.
conspiratorial bullshit to that story.
But Jimmy Connors played Navratilova in 92.
Yeah, but
I don't
that's men on
remember that.
men, dude. That's like, what are you gonna do? I mean, why you're comparing apples to oranges now? You know what I mean?
Well, Jimmy did win. Jimmy won
Barely.
7-5, 6-2.
I mean, dude, really? You're gonna try and call Navratilova a woman? That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyway, how are we doing for emails?
We do have some email, Mike. Edgar writes in, Mike, it sounds like Beth needs a home instruction and information list.
Well,
Of course, we talked about Beth leaving the house for 24 hours and leaving E in charge and having several instructions to go over first.
yeah.
Edgar says, I know, it sounds like a very nerdy thing to do, but hear me out. My parents have a vacation house in Florida, and no one is down there enough that we are familiar with the house. My dad threw together general instructions and information about the house, which I laughed at the first time. After the 10th time of looking around for something and then remembering it mentioned it on the list, I began to love the list. I've now done this with my own home for guests. It lets you know the guest door codes, wireless passwords, where spare toothbrushes are, or other personal items, such as towels and blankets. My home list is not anywhere near as
people
elaborate.
in your house, like
Ed, probably a lot.
But it saves me from
Probably a lot.
feeling like there may be something I'm forgetting to tell the person. Now, look, then he attaches what I believe is his dad's home instructions, and this is 2 pages,
Yeah.
single-spaced, very detailed.
Yeah.
Number 6, adjust the thermostat to a comfortable setting. Well,
See,
thanks, Dad.
This is where these type A fucking nerd engineer minds go. My dad does the same thing. Remember my dad's to Beth and I when we were turn on the TV, he wanted us to make sure to plug it in, but make sure that we step over the baby gate that's in front of the TV, because he's got the baby gate so none of the kids, the little babies at the time, could claw at his speaker system. And so he wanted us to make sure, and it was typed out and noted
Step over,
to
baby
make
gate.
sure to step over it, which is, thank
As opposed
God.
to tunneling under?
Well, no, what I was planning to do was like, oh, wow, there's this small wall here. I guess I'm just going to shoulder through it. And I was just going to blaze, start at the back wall, run, and throw my weight into it and see if I couldn't bulldoze it until I read that important note.
Edgar's dad adds, there should be a calendar in the drawer by the refrigerator with numbers for the community on it. Club pass keys to the pool fitness center are also in the drawer. Password for wireless near the pool is in the clubhouse. Keys to the convertibles are located in the door next to the fridge.
Did we need to note that there was plural convertibles?
I know.
Did we really need to do that?
Brush the toilet bowl if needed and flush. Then add a couple tablespoons, a splash of bleach, laundry room to the bowl. Then cover the bowl with press and seal wrap.
Sure.
In the kitchen drawer between the stove and pantry. Why would you cover the bowl with press and seal wrap?
Maybe so things don't get in or out of there?
Oh, yeah, it's Florida.
Yeah. You don't want a gator coming through there, and, God knows some saran wrap will stop him. So
Sure. General house use includes waterproof digital cameras
that's
located in the drawer and available for use.
That's a trick, by the way. I see what his dad was doing now. This is a good one. Saran wrap over the toilet bowl.
So you go to piss.
You go to piss, and
It's the oldest one in the book.
Yeah, that's what his dad's doing there.
He's making a mess for himself, though. This is his house.
He's not
Why would he
there,
do
and he
this?
knows you're going to clean it up after you get whiz all over your knees and shins.
We'll save the rest for tomorrow, Mike.
All right. Sounds good. Is there anything else we need to mention?
I don't think so. Everybody go to Dirtface channel on YouTube and subscribe, please.
Yes, do that. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of the day. Thank you, as always, for hanging with us. We will be back tomorrow. We'll see you then.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.